my God. All right. I just had to let that out. Okay. All right. Welcome to the RT vlog. Hey, this is going to be a special episode, everybody. This one's going to be 20.5. This one's going to be 20.5. And I'm going to talk about something very, very specific today. Hey, just about 16 hours ago, there was a Facebook video released, and it was on the Smiths family and their marriage and a relationship, some complications that were going on. And I wanted to hop on because I already watched it, but I just wanted to share my viewpoints from a relationship theory angle. I like to claim I'm an emotional doctor, energetic scientist. So what I really want to do is highlight very specific language and very specific nuances that go far beyond any of the information that we might have heard that flies around on the general social media, all of that. We're gonna go in depth here. I'm gonna watch it with you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and pick it apart because I think there are a lot of things that were really important to see. That there's a lot of things that were really important to hear, and just it needs to be highlighted. There's just a lot. We just got to get into it. I'm excited to get into it, really, because man, there were just a lot of things that were just so important to see and highlight here. So let's begin.
This red table for me, just all the stuff that's going on in the press.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like it was important to come to the table to really clear the air. Somebody made a statement for me that wasn't a statement I made, that went cray-cray.
And one of the reasons why I wanted to come to the table is the media, the headlines. We specifically never said anything.
Yes.
We were purposely not saying anything. Any headline that says Jada said or Will said or the Smith said is not true. We specifically never said anything.
Right.
So coming to the table was like, we just felt like it got to the point where you gotta say something.
Yeah, and to stop that cycle.
Yeah.
Okay, so right here, just hop right into it. So they came on today. They came on that day. They came on to the red table to talk about what everyone else is talking about. Will Smith says himself that they never specifically said anything. I know I hear a lot on social media that there's this open relationship thing, and I would actually like to include that in what they mean by, oh, we never said anything. Not that there needs to be an official statement where people say they're in an open relationship or not, right? We don't have to do that because it doesn't matter either way. The bottom line is no one said anything. No one said anything. So any information, this basically means that any information that anybody has ever gotten about this situation before this video is wrong, false, inaccurate, correct, and incorrect. All of it is just wrong. It's all a waste of energy, time, and space concerning this situation. So that's just the kicker right there. Okay, so yeah, we're just gonna continue.
Yeah.
You know, there's people's feelings involved.
Right.
You know, and at the end of the day, I don't like how all of this came to be. That doesn't matter. It's all love.
And here is the beginning of the emotional fiasco that I felt watching this video. You see, before I even got before I even chose to watch this video, my heart was already hurting. It was already hurting, and I think I felt like I knew exactly why my heart was gonna hurt. And I almost didn't watch this video because I'm like, I don't even want to entertain. I don't even want to entertain the, what's the word? I keep thinking smoke and mirrors. I didn't want to entertain the mental, emotional, verbal gymnastics that I expected on this. And sure, maybe we don't have to spill out every single detail. Like they said before, they're coming to clear things up. They're coming here because a lot of things were said that weren't true. Honestly, there wouldn't have been a point to clarify any of this at all anyway. It wouldn't have mattered. It wouldn't have mattered because coronavirus has everybody sitting inside their homes twiddling their fingers anyway. So even if they stayed silent, everyone would have just moved on to something else. That's exactly what I think. So they felt the pressure and they caved in. And here we are, we have something to indulge ourselves in. She said it's all love. What's important to me when talking to someone who wants to be open and honest about something is that they just engage. They just engage the way they know that they need to, want to, have to, when it comes to interactions, conversations, any of that, right? Just communication, express yourself. I heard it's all love, and what I felt like that was saying was, please don't make too much of a noise. Please don't act out in ways that don't look like we have an affectionate, loving, caring relationship. Please make sure to express what everyone thinks they see about us. Please make sure that that image is intact. That's what I heard there. So that wasn't a general, like, it's all love, guys. Like that was a, I would say, a control tactic. Actually, just cut it straight down the middle. It's a control tactic. Not for Will Smith, for you guys. It's for you guys. It's like, cause think about it. You hear someone saying something like, "Hey, look, everything is it's all fine, man. It's all cool. No craziness, guys. Let's take it easy. You know, let's relax. Let's keep calm." But if that's happening right in the middle of a tragedy, exactly how compassionate are you being for anybody else in the room? That's the question. Yes, it's all love, but we're not here because love. Let's keep moving on.
Honestly. And I would usually not, that would be something I wouldn't comment on at all.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's a situation that I consider private.
You just feel like it ain't really nobody's business.
Yeah.
But now Black Twitter has claimed.
It's a situation that you considered private. Between who? Between who? Between who? Your husband? August? Who? Your family? Black Twitter, as Will Smith is about to say?
It as their business.
But, I feel like it's healing that needs to happen. Mm-hmm. And I know there's a lot of stuff going on in the world right now.
Yeah.
Even though this is minuscule, I do feel like it's these kinds of...
It's healing that needs to happen. Between who? One of the things we need to get clear about the word healing is that healing is not only clarity. Healing is not only honesty. Healing is not only the divulgence of information. It's not. It's not, especially in this case. Again, you say it's all love, Jada, but we're not here because of love. And then she said that this situation is minuscule. I love that they flashed to Will Smith's face the moment she said that. Because even if he didn't react, the fact is, this isn't minuscule. It's not. It's not. If you chose to go to your own show to talk about something that millions of people are talking about around the world, it's not minuscule. Minuscule for who? Will Smith? For you? For August? For your family? For who? Whose standard of small and private matters are you in context with here?
Things that create the world that we're in, and the idea of not communicating, not talking about it, not clearing the air, and just being as transparent. Just being transparent.
And I'm here with you.
Yeah, I thank you for that, because you've been on a hell of a journey with me. So that's what we're going to start with.
We're going to start
this
with
is a very.
What is this journey? I noticed that there's a caption to this video that says, "Here's to the journey." And I checked to see if that was a screenshot. That was a screen picture for any of her other Red Table Talks, and I don't think that is what it is. So it makes me wonder. It's like, why when there's trouble, now it's a journey? You were already on the journey when we got here.
Personal journey.
Yep.
That became very public.
Yes, absolutely.
For whatever reason.
So what happened, Jada?
Okay, so let's start with, I guess about 4.5 years ago.
Yeah.
I think it was about 4 years ago. Started a friendship with August. And
a friendship. How did the friendship come to be? Where did you meet August? Who was August connected to? Transparency.
we actually became really, really good friends. And it all started with him just needing some help. You know, me wanting to help his health, his mental state.
Because for me,
what's the help? You said mental state. What's the help? What help did he need? Was it emotional? Was it financial? Was it physical? Was it a business deal? Was it business? Was it personal? Was it family? What's the help? What is it? You guys were friends. And then one day he needed help. What kind of help?
that was the thing when When Og first came around, he was really sick.
He was really sick, yeah.
And the outpouring for him from our family was initially about his health.
Yeah. And I mean, we found all those different resources, you know, to help pull him through. And from there, you know, you and I were going through a very difficult time.
Yeah.
Wait, so right around the time that August needed help, their marriage was on the rocks. That's what you're saying. That's what you're saying to me.
And we decided...
I was done with your ass.
Yeah, you kicked me to the curb.
I was done with you.
Yeah.
Marriages have that, though.
Yeah,
Marriages have that.
Yeah, we basically, we broke up.
We decided that we were going to separate for a period of time, and you go figure out how to make yourself happy, and I'll figure out how to make myself happy.
Well,
I don't like how Will Smith eases the pain off when he says, I was done with your ass. All marriages have that. That's a given. You're a human first, Will. I don't, how to, what? Who are you speaking for? Who were you trying to protect? But hey, it's all love, right? So if I'm honest with you, it's it's in love. Like, I'm not really trying to push anything here. Is that what you were thinking, Will? Is that what you were thinking? Because that was a mistake. If you were done with her, you were done with her. Those feelings are valid in the moment that you felt those feelings. You were on the rocks. You have to explain that to no one, Will. But you eased it off. But all marriages have that. All marriages do not have that. Will, your relationship is your relationship. This is what confuses me about the way the world sees relationships. We confuse the fact that there are common themes with the experiences that people have individually in their circumstances. Common themes do not equal all relationships have something, because all relationships do not have what you have. And what that does is eliminate the nuance of your relationship specifically. So what does that do? It weakens your own faith in who you are as a person and what you've been through and what you've experienced. Because, well, hey, if everyone else felt it, then I shouldn't complain. That's what it feels like. You're complaining, right, Will? You're complaining. Who told you that your experience and talking about it and sharing it and opening up about your experience was complaining? Who said that, Will? Who told you that?
at that particular point in time, it was indefinite.
Yeah, I really felt like we could be over.
She said it was indefinite. Me hearing that, I automatically understand what she was trying to say. That's the reason why this happened with August. That's why she felt like it was okay, because he was done, right? But she picked it up. He eased off the pain earlier when he said, but our marriages had that. And she said it was indefinite, but she didn't ease off the pain. Power imbalance in energetic communication alone, guys. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? It's just there. It's just there. It's wild. Very interesting.
Yeah, we were over.
And then what did you do, Jada?
Well, I think from there, as time went on, I got into a different kind of entanglement with August. And one thing I want to get clear about and clean up, one of the things that was kind of swirling in the press about you giving permission, which is, you know, the only person that can give permission in that particular
Yes.
circumstance is myself.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
She said a different kind of entanglement. How many kinds are there? You were friends, and then you became really good friends, and then he needed help, and then your marriage was on the rocks, and it was indefinite that things were over, right? So how many kinds are you talking about? And then when it comes to giving permission for people, the only one who can give that permission is yourself. You did. That's why we're here at the table. That's why we're here today, Jada. That's why we're here. What am I missing? Will Smith asked, "What did you do?" And you said, "We got into." What did you do? You could have easily started off with how your family helped August. You could have started off with, what did you guys do to become good friends? You could have started off with, who made the first move? So many starting points. All of them would have led into the same direction, but this is what we're gonna do.
But what August was probably trying to communicate, because I could actually see how he would perceive it as permission, because we were separated amicably.
Yeah.
Not amicably if he was done with your ass, quote, and quote, Will Smith. And then it's not how August perceived it. As a matter of fact, no, here's the important point. I think everyone misses this part. Everyone misses this part when it comes to that open relationship now, right? No one wants to mention the fact that 4.5 years ago they were separated. That's the words we're using. Clearly, both of these individuals were being human beings that were running into problems. That doesn't sound like an open relationship to me. That doesn't sound like someone who was trying to find their happiness. It doesn't sound like any of that. It sounds like there was a struggle. And I think general social media tries to make it sound like, hey, look, it's two rich people, great actors, they got a lot of money, they got a great family, the family's got businesses, they're doing what they gotta do, they're doing what they want to do, they're doing really good for themselves. Why wouldn't two people like this have an open relationship? And there is that survivalist mindset. There's that, what's the opposite of an abundance mindset? A scarcity mindset? There's that scarcity mindset that all of you have right there. To think that because two people have lots of money and then when they have a family, the family also gets a lot of money. So like everyone's got money, so why wouldn't they be happy? And if everyone is happy, why wouldn't they keep their options open? And I get it. Happiness is the ability to have options. However, why do people neglect how important it is for two humans to communicate and ensure that they have a proper functioning relationship in their lives? Why does everyone doubt the power of what a relationship comes with? Why does everyone not believe in and see the true fruits of what a relationship comes with. I'm asking these questions, but what makes me understand is, no, people don't know. People don't know the substance of a relationship. They don't know how abundant and fruitful it can become when you tend to it well. People have no clue. And I have a guess why that is. You all don't have good relationships with yourselves. You don't. You don't. You don't. You don't. Why would you? You're over here projecting your fantasies onto people that have more than you. They have more than you, so it's okay to project your fantasies, right? They're not human. They don't have issues. They have money. This is what you guys sound like on social media. They don't have issues. They have money. They don't have issues. They're leaving themselves open to their other people, when clearly that's not, nobody's in an open marriage here. There is no permission given. A separation is currently happening. There's clearly individual issues going on, but somehow we get the words open marriage and happiness instead of frustration and lack of communication and lack of intimacy and lack of vulnerability and lack of clarity and transparency.
And I think he also wanted to make it clear that he's not a homewrecker, which he's not.
I think so.
Which he is.
I mean, because this is your red table and you like brought yourself to the red table. I think you need to say clearly what happened.
As far as what?
You and I decided we were going to take our space, and what happened.
Yeah, and then I got into an entanglement with August. That's what I said.
And then
he tried to push again for that transparency that we're all here at this table for. And, you know, what you did, but we got into sounds like someone is trying to protect someone. It sounds like someone's trying to help somebody with their mental state, even though they're not here at this table. His face immediately after she repeats what she got into is like, oh, so that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing, huh? Wow. Wow. Wow, that's what we're gonna do here at your show. Your show. But that's what we're gonna do here. No wonder our marriage is on the rocks. No wonder I was done with your ass. Quote, unquote, Will Smith.
entanglement.
Yes. Yes.
A relationship.
Yes, it was a relationship. Absolutely.
That gaslighting. It smells like just man. That gaslighting is amazing. Man, did you see that? You see that? He had to do the work. He had to do the journey of establishing what she did, what she got into. He had to add that 6th type of entanglement. He had to say it was a relationship. He repeated the word entanglement back to her, and you see how her head stiffened? She's like, that's the word that we're going to use. That's the experience that I want to give out to the world. That's the way I want people to perceive where I'm coming from. That's the door I'm going to open here for people to walk through. That one. Okay? It's that. So don't question it. Alright? That's just what it is. And then he says relationship, and then she says, yes, it was a relationship. You know what that is? You know what that feels? Do you know what it feels like, people? When you have to talk to someone and it feels like you're in a wrestling match with your words. Just because they won't use their own words to join in with your experience. Do you know how lonely that feels? You know how lonely that feels, people? Because it feels really lonely. There's nothing you can say to someone. It's like it's stonewalling. That's what that is. Just in this communication alone, that's what that is. It's stonewalling. Because there's nothing I can say to you that'll get across to you in a way that validates both of our experience. We're having completely different experiences all the time. All the time. There's nothing here that is a you and I experience. Of course, unless we're talking about someone I'm actually interested in that isn't at this table currently. Social media likes to mention Will Smith's eyes, and this would be the reason why. You're talking to a wall every single day. That is the most frustrating thing a human can possibly experience, because all that translates into is I don't want you. I don't want you. I don't like you. I don't want to mix my energies with yours. There's nothing about you that makes me want to invest myself and feel committed to you in a way that empowers and blesses this relationship and everyone around us. No. I don't want that. Not with you. Yuck. So, yeah, it's a relationship, but because you said so, not me. I didn't say that. It's your words. Even though we're in a marriage that's been 25 years in the making.
I was in a lot of pain, and I was very broken. Now, in the
Yes, you're in a lot. All right, so immediately after he affirms and she reaffirms the word that she actually involved herself in, immediately, it was a relationship because I was hurting. We are in a relationship, Jada. I'm Will Smith right now. We're in a relationship right now, Jada. It's called a marriage. And this marriage has children.
process of that relationship, I definitely realized that you can't find happiness outside of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And luckily enough, you and I were also going through a process of healing in a much different manner. Mm-hmm. I would definitely say we did everything that we could to get away from each other, only to realize that wasn't possible.
So we coming to the red?
I'll tell you, I wonder if anyone else can see just how stubborn this woman really is. Can you see it in her neck? Like, can you see it? Can you just in her body language? Can anyone else see this? It's outstanding how stubborn this woman really is. And it's not a good stubborn. It's not a good stubborn. It's not an independent stubborn. There's nothing healthy about this stubborn. Stubborn, you need to be focusing on something good outside of yourself that helps other people. But it's obvious. Only if it helps you. You need to be able to see yourself from a distance and run into that, and not be stubborn for anything, for only that. That's the thing I'm going to be stubborn for. Not something that's outside of myself, because that's crazy. Why would I? Oof.
Cable. So I'm in the Jada position right now. So
Okay.
you know, you during that time launched into an interaction with August. What do you feel like you were looking for?
I just wanted to feel good. It had been so long since I felt good.
Right.
And it was really a joy to just help heal somebody.
Yeah.
We're in a relationship. I know that Will Smith was a little too emotionally caught up, because if he was further away from his heart, if he was using his mind a whole lot more in this table talk, he would have asked so many more questions. He would have been so he could have aced the hell out of this exam. If this was an exam and he was just using his mind, he would have aced the hell out of this. Because he could have picked her apart on her own show. What do you mean feel good? We're in a relationship. He doesn't have to tell everyone else that's watching but what do you mean feel good? What do you mean feel good? It's been so long. You say it with a drag. Okay, got it. So not what did he do to make you feel good? Because obviously if he made you feel good, because he didn't say that, but you know, it's just been so long anyway, so we'll just go with that. It's been a long time since you felt good, so why did you feel bad? This is probably the second or third thing that she's gonna skip over. The first one is, what did you do? What did you do? The second is, you're gonna call it an entanglement instead of a relationship, while you're already in a relationship. What does being in a relationship while you're in a relationship constitute to? I'm gonna just ask that question and then move on. But then the third is, feel good about what? Transparency.
I think that has a lot to do with my codependency, which is another thing that I had to learn to break in this cycle. Just that idea of needing to fix and being drawn to people that need help, whether it's your health or whether it's your addictions. There's something about
Addictions. Okay, I just had to do that. My God, it's so painfully obvious where her mind is. It's crazy. Also, she's just dumping keywords. She's just dumping keywords out here. Anybody across the spectrum of codependency is going to empathize with that. But that doesn't mean that that's where she is. That doesn't mean that that's where she is. So, I have this term that I call it emotional osmosis, and it's when one person feels a way that the other person feels, and they take on that feeling. They become whatever they identify themselves with. And when it's on a emotional, energetic level, can you imagine how many people resonate with something that somebody says in an instant? Just that fast? It's like, oh my God, you said codependency? Wait, I've had codependency issues too. How to fail the world in one great sweep. The whole wanting to help someone, you're in a relationship where your marriage is struggling and you are responsible for the health of that marriage, not just the other person. Help yourself, Jada. You are the one who needs help. It's you. Has it been so long since you felt good, helped someone, or saved yourself? Or had a good marriage? Or a good addiction? My God. My word.
That childhood trauma that feels as though it can be fixed through fixing people.
You're nearly 50 years old and these are the problems that you're having? Oh, okay, I heard that and I laughed internally the first time I watched it, but now I'm laughing again because it's just so funny to hear. Wow, that's amazing. Childhood trauma, codependencies, fixing people, feeling good, trying to help people. I've heard of this person before. I know this individual. I know people like this. Jada is not original. She's not an original woman. This is old news. Not because these are things that she's just sharing and all of a sudden like, oh, now we know that that's what was going on. No. This story is so old. I'm beginning to think that this isn't about transparency anymore. I think now we're just getting into why we felt good about what we did. I think that's where we are now.
Versus fixing me.
Yeah.
And I think that whole process with Og really showed me that and taught me that. And I'm really grateful for that lesson.
It didn't teach you anything. You knew what you were doing the whole time.
I feel like that husband, like I'm with you at the press conference. I'm that husband. Now I got to be with you at the press conference while you like tell the world about your transgressions.
Well,
Like I love my baby. I'm gonna stand by my baby no matter what.
well, you know, I definitely understand why it would look that way or feel that way, but I actually don't look at it as a transgression at all. Through that particular journey, I learned so much about myself and was able.
You're already on a journey, Jada. You've been on a journey before we got here. What you made was a pit stop. Oh my God, people. What the heck? They're called pit stops. You know when you drop by, when you're driving down a highway and you're almost out of gas and you go to a gas station to pump, to go back to full and just to pump your car back up? That's what that was. That's what you did. That's it's not a journey. There's no specific journey. August is not a project. Do you understand how dehumanizing that is? To hear her talk about another man like that. He's not a project. So why are you talking about him like that? Because you are talking about him. That's what we're here at this table for, right? So he's not a project. And neither is Will. And neither are you. You see? So if no one's a project, that means that there's nothing to fix, which means all the blame for why we're here at this table falls on you. But we're at this table to talk about how we felt good. So.
Able to really confront a lot of emotional immaturity, emotional insecurity, and I was really able to do some really deep healing. you know. And as I came through and started to realize certain things about you and I, he decided to break all communication with me,
Right.
which was totally understandable.
So around the time that she started to realize things about her marriage, she said you and I and not us. It's the nuance, people. She's not even here at this table. Like I said it before, but I'll say it again. She's not even here at this table. She's not even here. I think she was sitting here this entire time, making sure she didn't make August look bad. That's what it sounds like. I don't think that's what it sounds like. That's the language she's using is protective of August and not her marriage. Just because you're comfortable with somebody does not mean that you get to individualize yourself. I have a weird small story that I want to share here. I had an umbrella I really liked. It kind of looks like a sword, and whenever I go out to work, I take this umbrella with me just on the days that I think it's gonna rain. But in the meantime, the way I can carry it is almost like a scroll from Naruto, or like a sword in the back, the way I can holster it. And one day I started getting really comfortable with this thing. I'm like flipping it through my fingers, like spinning it around on my hands, spinning it around on my fingers, like Magneto did in that movie when he was learning about his powers with the coin. And then so on this one day, I'm like carrying it around and cool. I go to make this one delivery or whatever, and I put the umbrella down someplace outside of the building that I was supposed to go into. And when I finish with my business and come out to get my umbrella was gone. And I felt so sad because I'm thinking, wow, I just started getting so comfortable with this umbrella, having so much fun with it, and starting to realize like what I can do with it other than just using the umbrella to protect me from the rain. Like I'm really starting to have fun with this thing. But then here it goes. Someone taking it. I didn't think about, oh, just because they needed it, that's why they stole it. I didn't try to pathologize what good could have came from the fact that my umbrella was gone. I was the one that was comfortable with it, not anyone else. Why would they need it? It was mine, right? And then I realized, because I like to pay attention to nuance, I realized that it was the fact that I put the umbrella down. That fact meant that I was too comfortable with leaving my umbrella alone, just because I started feeling like I was one with it. And of course it's gonna be here. Let me just set this down away from me, outside of my vision, because it's mine, so it'll be safe. I don't have to take care of it. I don't have to tend to it. I don't have to ensure that this thing is safe and protected and secure because I wanted to stay with me. No, I got secure and I started distancing myself from it unconsciously or subconsciously. I'll say subconsciously. But I started distancing myself subconsciously to the umbrella. And that's when I realized, like, wow, okay. That's an important lesson for me to learn. No matter how comfortable and connected and secure I might feel in something, that's the time for me to work on being even more secure, to work on enduring even more with this, with what I love, with what I have, because clearly security to me means distance. And look what happened to my umbrella. It got stolen. So I wanted to share that story to say that when you're in a marriage and you get so comfortable that things no longer are we and us and a partnership, but is instead you and I, and then something else is we instead of the marriage, it just shows where there needs to be work. There needs to be a different translation for security. Security doesn't mean that you don't have to look at it. And that's what we think when we put money in the bank. That's what we think when we secure a home and we have a room to ourselves and things look perfect. That's the time to double down even more on what's important to you. Not let go. Let's continue.
Right.
And I let that be and hadn't talked to him since.
Right.
So it is a little weird that all this stuff is coming out now, since this was
Because for me, this was years ago, right? You know, so the fact that it's coming up now, and I think it could feel weird for people that we're laughing and talking about it, but
it happened so long ago.
You know, and
we know that the time doesn't matter, right? We tell each other that time is an illusion, right? Time's only an illusion because we think that time is a number, when instead time is you. Time is your experience. In reality, we don't ever look at time and think that it's a number on a wall, that it's a date on a calendar. No, your body doesn't believe that. Time is where you are always. You spend time in your bed, you spend time on the phone, you spend time cooking, you spend time eating, you spend time drinking, you spend time partying, you spend time studying, you spend time doing. So you guys are at this table, and it doesn't matter how long ago something is, you are spending time today, it was just yesterday, talking about this issue. So time doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's 4 years ago. Clearly, your connection, Jada, is so powerful that you have to spend time talking about it with your husband. Man.
our experiences of working through it, fighting through it, talking.
He said our experiences. Earlier she said you and I. She's using separative language and he's using cooperative language. Ooh.
Through it, therapizing
Right.
through it. I think that the why now is weird.
Yeah. When I say it's been a huge healing on my life and just what I had to confront and discover,
Yeah.
you know, about myself,
Yeah.
the ugly truths and the beauty. So it was something that I felt like wasn't really ready to be discussed because it hadn't been that healing, because he hasn't wanted to, you know, Og and I haven't talked in.
Man, I tell you, yo, she's killing. Jada, 2020 truly is a year, man, because we got so many people using words and like introducing old concepts in new ways and completely eradicating the foundation. It's utterly amazing to watch it all go down. Healing is starting to be a toxic word, and she might have just started a new movement with this. Why does healing have to come with damaging your marriage?
So long, you know what I mean? So I don't know, this all seemed very strange, you know.
Man, look at the hand signs. Gaslighting anybody. Where's the smoke and mirrors? We're at a table where there's a pair of eyes right across from each other. Look at yourself in the mirror. That's crazy.
But I'm grateful for the journey that you and I have had together.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there are a lot of couples that go through those periods.
Yeah.
And a lot of couples that have to separate and think it's over. And, you know, the one thing I'll say about you and I is that there's never been secrets.
Right. We came together young, and we were both broken in our own ways, and to be able to make mistakes without the fear of losing your family is so critical.
Yeah. It's the idea of.
But it's also critical to have to have a degree of punishment and reconciliation and an awareness that dues must be paid. In order to make sure you don't lose the things that are important to you. No matter how difficult a marriage may be for people, because a marriage is very, very simple for some. And just because we don't have people who talk about it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Maybe those good marriages are the ones that everyone knows you don't talk about because it's nobody's business. But hey, we're here at the red table with your husband talking about another man. So I guess that one's out the window. No secrets, right?
Of any relationship and trying to get to deeper understanding of love is going to be forged in fire.
Yeah.
There's no way around it.
Yeah.
And I think that one of the things that I'm deeply grateful.
What kind of fire, Jada? Because we don't need millions and millions of marriages going through what you put your husband through. Just to heal. Just to have a better relationship. Leave the forging to the Smiths. Oh, wait.
In this whole process between you and I is that we have really gotten to that new place
Yes.
of unconditional love.
Because I wasn't sure I was ever going to speak to you again.
I know.
Yeah, like the fact that I'm speaking to you again is a miracle.
I would agree.
No, but it ain't for the weak at heart. There's just certain things that you have to go through, and it's like.
And I wish.
You see, so hearing Will Smith talk here is highlighting another one of these issues. He is always emotionally catering to people, and he has a lot of language that he uses that other people do not understand when he says it. That's Will's problem. See, Will himself needs to make sure that when he uses words, other people know exactly what he's talking about, because he has this grand scheme of peace that he's up to, but nobody knows what it is. And that's how he carries himself. That's a problem. I think we know what the problem is with that one. That's you taking on the burden and the pain of keeping things together alone. It's not your job only, Will. It's not only your job. You're in a marriage too, sir. And I know that you take this language outside of your marriage, where you just say, "Hey, it's all easy. It's all, guys, it's all under control." That reminds me of a Scrub episode where there's a guy who basically caved in on himself mentally because he kept saying, "Oh, things are okay. Things are going to be all right. Things are going to be okay." He always seemed like he knew what he was going to do. Until he left the hospital just as quick as he came in, because he tried to take it all on himself instead of being professional about what he was doing. You gotta include other people in the process. You can't just leave them alone because you're supposed to take on the world and handle it alone. Like, you don't. That's not how it. You have to include people in the language that you use. You gotta include them in the piece. Give them your world. What do you mean when you say what he said here? I can't even remember it. But when you're going through struggles? Like, what do you mean when you say that? What happens? What happens when we have all this peace, but then there's an issue? Do we pretend that there is no issue because, well, hey, look, there's peace though. We can go get that. Like, what?
You know, I wish that wasn't the case. I do. I wish that wasn't the case.
I sure wish it could be all magic and miracles.
Yeah. You got to go through some to get the answers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and
No, you don't. Don't let anyone ever tell you that. No, you don't. You do not. If you depend on failure as a teacher, failure isn't going to be as powerful. It's not going to be as effective. If you know you're going to fail, you won't learn your lesson. Know you're going to succeed, and when you fail, you get to learn a lesson. Don't give yourself lessons. You are not a failure. You don't get to decide that. You haven't done anything. You haven't spent time succeeding. You haven't spent time failing. So you can't not spend time and then say it's a lesson, it's a failure, it's an experience. You're not doing anything. You're not doing anything. You don't get to decide that.
And I'm just happy because I definitely believe that you and we never, ever, ever thought that we would make it back.
Yeah, there's a real power in the just knowing somebody's riding with you no matter what.
Yeah.
And you really can't.
See, it's that grandstanding faith that's just beyond all comprehension. See, no, Will, there is no real power when you don't give anybody any of it. What?
Can't know that
Until you go
until through some stuff, you know. I don't want to go through this no more.
Yeah, no, I don't either.
Yeah. I'm going to get you back first, and then...
You're going to get me back. I think you got me back. I think we're good on that, okay?
Okay, that's probably true.
You know, but...
Because he's so emotionally aware, I'm pretty sure there's a million times in the relationship where he sees a way that Jada slighted him, and he slights her back into the same degree. He's like, wow, you really weren't being considerate, were you, when you did what you just did? Okay. Logs in the back of his head to use for future reference. But it's him not communicating the damage that has been done that causes the damage. Because it always comes out anyway. It comes in some other way. Of course it does. Not this. Well, maybe. Who knows?
But, and I don't think it's about getting anybody back.
No, for me it is.
Okay. I'm...
Stand your ground. See, look, at least there's one thing that he believes in, right? And this is what it looks like when you believe in something hard enough to ensure that you see it, you see the results, that the experience comes to fruition, that you manifest it before your eyes. You have to be that decided. It's just unfortunate that he wasn't that decided when it came to peace and the power of getting through anything no matter what. There has to be a method, Will. And if you know the method for getting somebody back, then you should also know the method for keeping the peace. Don't play yourself, Will. Not to say that, like, don't get it back, but just apply the same method to the rest of the world. And if people fall away and out of the picture because they can't fit your method, it doesn't matter. Because they weren't meant to be there anyway. So what? So? Look, this method has worked for me so far. That's how I got to where I got, right? So? You don't know how to fall in line. You got to go.
Give you that petty if that's what you want. But, you know, I will definitely say it's just part of it.
Yeah.
You know, if you expect to be with somebody for a lifetime.
25 years and counting.
We ride together,
We die together.
Bad marriage for life.
That's terrible.
It's the truth.
It's the truth.
But yeah, it's
It's not the truth. It's a bad marriage. It's a bad marriage when you don't know what you're doing. Things are bad when you don't know what you're doing. You will never say that something is bad and you know exactly how to work it. You only say it's bad because it's not functioning as well as it can. And in that case, you know what to do. So what? You're not going to spend time talking about how bad it is. You don't know what you're doing. And it's okay to be honest about that. Honestly, that's the message for the men out there. If you don't know what you're doing, just say it. It's not that hard. Not knowing what to do is knowing what to do. Because it establishes that you are aware that there are a bunch of pieces around and you just don't know how to put them in line. It's the method. If you have the method for getting someone back, then you could apply that method to other things. Just because something is good and just because something is bad doesn't mean that it requires a different method. And this is where people get messed up. This is where people confuse, frustrate how their life comes to be. This is where people struggle, because I know for a fact that people ease up when it comes to good things. Remember earlier I talked about the security of my umbrella and how I let it go and it got stolen. But when it comes to something bad, everyone thinks they need to triple down. If you could triple down on things that are good just as much as you do the bad things, I promise you will live a more secure life. And secure probably won't even be a word, because you're going to be on your stuff. You're going to be on your agenda always. You don't have to find a break if you're always doing what you need to. The breaks come. You can take them when you want to. You ought to be able to take breaks when you want to, not because you need to. You will crash, burn, and fall every time. Don't be like this couple. I'm sorry. Just don't be like them, please. Don't, guys. This is a bad way to go. Oh my God, bad marriage for life? Shut up, man. Shut up. Shut up. I will never celebrate the fact that something is not working as good as it should, because that just indicates how bad things really are for me and how much okay I'm trying to be with how things are just crashing and cracking and crumbling before my very eyes. Guys,
it's just part of the journey.
I told you the first year we were married
What'd you tell me?
that I can love you through anything.
And I didn't believe you.
Yeah.
If somebody looked through a crystal ball and said, this, and this is gonna happen, I'd be like, no way.
Yeah. You thought I was that I didn't have the girth that it was going to take to ride with you through.
I didn't know if you would be willing to find the deep capacity to love me.
Yeah. How am I doing?
You're doing great.
deep capacity to love her. In what way? Man, he missed such an opportunity in the first year of marriage to isolate what that was, man. You hear that? The end of this talk was the best part, because that's when it actually started getting good. It's all about the beginning. Start from the beginning. Where do we begin? Now where does it end? Stop asking where things end. Ask where it begins. You're not on a journey. You've already been on the journey. There's no specific journey. That was a pit stop you made. Because it's certainly not motivating you in any other capacity right now. You guys are stuck here for 13 minutes talking about some other man. And only in the last minute of your video are you talking about your marriage. That's what the world wanted to really know. Hey, are you guys confident in your marriage? Are you secure in your marriage? Do you guys actually even care about each other? Was the marriage really open? It wasn't. What's going on? What's going on? How do you guys really feel about each other? Why do we see things that equal compromised instead of happy, secure? Why are you out here, Will, talking about I realize that I need to do what makes me happy for me, and that'll make other people happy, and they need to do what makes them happy for them, and that'll make me. Why are you on? You don't think people hear what that sounds like? But maybe you were on that grandstand for peace, and you didn't have a method. I don't know how to make things better, but I do know how to please you. And if you're happy because I did it, then maybe that means that there is something I can do that's good. Maybe there is a method to it. Just don't hurt me, because then I'll have to hurt you. Bad way to go. What kind of mindset is that for a healthy relationship? For a healthy marriage? It's not, man. It's not. Dang it. He missed such an opportunity. This talk should have been an hour. I'm reviewing a 13-piece, but this is because these are all the pieces that they missed. These are all the pieces that they missed, that were just so evident for people like me to just see. It's like, wow, look at all the holes, man. Is this Dragon Ball Z or something? The plot holes are ridiculous, yo. The power levels are off the charts. It's crazy. I didn't think you'd have the deep capacity to love me. What have you been through? Are you still hurting from someone else? Did Will know that this was even happening beforehand? Did he know what she was really dealing with? Did she know how she was truly hurt? Because maybe if he saw that and was able to actually isolate it, pick on it, and really break it down, this stubbornness that I talked about earlier, that you can just see in her language, probably wouldn't exist. But of course she's going to be stubborn. And she's met men like you that think that things are going to be okay because he's the man and he's got to take care of it all. You know she's just rolling her eyes in the back of her head. Here he goes, another man taking my power away from me. So there's got to be some way I can compensate for the lack of power I have, because all I have to do is sit back and watch him take care of everything, instead of engaging my feelings and engaging my emotions and making me feel like I'm truly on this journey here together, where we can make something happen for both of us. Of course Will can. Of course Will can, man. Of course he could love her through anything. Just what are your methods, Will? Make her not worry? Make her not have to face her problems? Because look what happened. She faced them anyway because you weren't there to give her the mirror that she needed. We gotta stop pretending as men and women that we're truly as different as we really think we are. Just because somebody has different parts than you in certain areas, don't mean that the way we express ourselves isn't the same, because it is. If a man cries, something happened. If a woman cries, something happened. It doesn't matter how we respond to a man and a woman. The fact is, something happened, something specific. And it's bottom line. That's where we start. Start being a human. Some things are just right in your face, and you don't see until things really, really go bad. But I was talking with somebody that I used to date the other day, and we both expressed to each other, hey, wow, we both expect bad things to come to pass. So we put ourselves in the places that make us understand that, oh, look, well, things were bad, right? Let me just be here. And whenever it goes bad, in my head, I'll just be like, well, I already know that it's going to be bad because, like, I'm here in the bad spot. It's not like it gets any better, right? Expecting the bad to happen causes it to happen. And then when you try to make the bad seem good and you realize, no, wait, I don't know what I'm doing. And then things crash and you're like, wow, I really didn't know what I was doing. You don't want to run into that. You don't want to run into that. Man. Yeah, like I said, that last minute of that video was the most precious, because that's when they started tapping into the origins of the relationship. It should have started with, I can love you through anything. Earlier she said it's all love, but it's so obvious through these whole 13 minutes that the way they translate themselves is so different. They're talking directly through each other, and they reach each other when they come back around, but you don't want to reach each other after passing by each other. If you need to be somewhere at 10 a.m., you need to be there at 10 a.m., not 10:10 because I took a left stop along the way and I went to grab some coffee, so it'll be 5 minutes later and oops, I need to talk to my friends, so 10:25 instead. Like, no one is waiting for you that long. What? That's not how time works. If you're not here on time, not a number, but if you're not here on time, time hasn't begun. Because time involves us. So that's my cover of this Red Table Talk. Man, this one was a doozy. This one was quite the doozy. I remember seeing a bunch of comments talking about, wow, Will was so mature, and it's like, guys, we need to stop normalizing this masochistic image of masculinity that dies on a cross to rescue the world. It doesn't work. There's only one person who did that, and like, it's obvious. It's obvious the end result. It's you have to be you can't be from this world being that way. You're trying to be something that you literally aren't. You're in this physical body. And that's what people need to understand. You're literally in your body interacting with other people. Like, why are people going so far in their minds to communicate when they just need to start with where their 2 feet are planted? Stop going so far, and if you want to go over there, you need to communicate that that's where you're trying to go. You can't. Of course, no one's going to like be told, "Oh, hey, look, when you get married, like this and this and this and this is gonna happen. Of course you're going to deny it because you're not there yet. That's like, you need a method. You need to lay expectations down so that both people, if anyone else is involved, knows how to act in accordance to the path, to the journey that you guys are going along. It's not one person's job. Now that I've come to the end of this video, now I'm seeing it's like this was always going to happen. Because they were talking through each other from the beginning. They weren't talking to each other. They were talking through each other, meeting themselves in the back end, always catching up. Of course, things are going to be bad. You're not meeting each other with your language. You're not meeting each other with your expressions. If you see someone talking and they stiffen their neck and they're like acting all mad, it's why are you mad? No, I'm not asking you why are you mad because you shouldn't be mad. I'm asking you why are you mad because you are acting in a way that I want to validate. So tell me literally, why are you acting mad? Because I need what you're doing to make sense to me so that I can meet you there. That shouldn't be hard. Tell me where you are so I can meet you there. That goes both ways, but it happens at different points. You both shouldn't be trying to meet each other consistently. Be yourselves. When you move, meet the need. Bottom line, just as trying to expect something bad to happen and then moving to the bad place before it gets bad doesn't work, it's the same for the good. The good must come as the bad must come. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap this special episode up. This is 20.5. Jada and Will. Thanks for coming. I'll catch you later.